Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the By Word Show. So glad you're here. Happy Friday. We made it. It's almost the end of the year, which is so insane. I don't even know, where does the time go, honestly? I feel like being a mom makes the time fly. And then also just getting older, the craziness of the world, it's just wild. I don't know if you're with me on that, but it has been wild. And so I have just been spending a lot of time thinking and reflecting on this year. And I wanted to do just a quick, simple episode today to share with you a tradition that I started in 2013, actually. And it has been something that's been so special to me through the years and something that I will probably continue to do forever. And it is writing myself a letter on New Year's Eve to open the following year. So if you're watching the video on Spotify or YouTube, you can see I'm holding up a letter that I wrote to myself on December 31st, 2013. And it says to open in 2014 on New Year's Eve. Honestly, the real glow up is my handwriting, but let's not talk about that. So what it is this thing that I just decided to do. I thought it would be fun to write myself a letter to discuss things that I had learned in that year, how I had changed, and my hopes and dreams for the new coming year. And it's been so fun because every New Year's Eve I open this letter. Here's the one that I'll open really soon, and I can't even believe it. It's just been a crazy year. And on these years, especially where so many things happened, it's so sweet to take that time and just sit with myself and see how far I've come, because every year is different, right? There are going to be things that happen that were really unexpected. There are going to be surprises that were so sweet and joyful, and things to celebrate how far we've come, like answered prayers and amazing opportunities and connections and things that the Lord has done through the year. And it's just so sweet to sit there and think about how far I've come, where I was this time last year and who I'll be this time next year. It's just really cool. And it helps me also just to see my continued growth, because gosh, I have not gone back and read these letters from the very, very beginning, but I feel like I should, because there's just so much to that, just looking back and seeing how far we've come. It's so special to see. And so I just thought I'd kind of walk you through my process on this in case it's a tradition that you want to start as well. I've shared it on my social media the past couple years, and everybody thinks it's so fun, and a couple people have started doing it. And so I love that you guys are joining me and writing your future self a letter. So here's kind of what I do. First of all, and again, you do not have to do it like this at all. This is just my process. You can do whatever you want, however is natural and fun for you, do that. But for me, I usually take some time towards the end of the year, like the vision workshop we just had, and sit down and reflect on the year and just rest and take a breath and chill for a second and just think about what has happened this year, where I'm at, what I'm currently learning, and what I feel like the Lord is telling me about the new year, or what I'm currently going through, just giving me insights, right? So I set some time to pray, and then also just to reflect and think about, okay, what are some key things that happened this year? And just learning to remember, look back and remember. We get so busy that we just zoom through life and we never take the time. It's just not normal. It's not a common thing to just sit there and reflect. And I feel like that's a lost art, because that is so where we notice the Lord, I feel like, is when we are able to look back and just think, oh my goodness, he was there every step of the way. Or wow, I didn't realize how that moment at the beginning of the year was either preparing me for or connecting me to this time right now, or even what the Lord was showing me then, how it's just really connected to all of this. And I don't know, at least for me, I feel like when we're looking back and reflecting, we start to see the connected dots, and we start to see things that maybe we weren't as aware of in the moment. So I take some time to think through that. And then from there, I'm one of those people who picks a word for the year. I don't know if you're that person, but I personally think it's really fun because it kind of gives me a theme and a focus going into the year that I can always come back to. And I really like that. I like having a focus that I can come back to in moments throughout the year. So for example, this year, my word was build. And all throughout this year, I have had so many moments where I'm like, Lord, why? What does this even mean? My intention this year was to grow and build. And there have been so many moments where I feel like things are just falling apart. And honestly, looking back over this year, this is something that I'll put in my letter for this year. There were so many moments where I didn't notice how God was really allowing the breakdown of certain things in my life so that I could get to the root of things and work through it and like the cracked pieces in my life, find that healing and find that strength and my faith again in a new way so that I could actually have a solid foundation to build on. And it was so sweet how the Lord did that, because you guys know this year I had another miscarriage and we've had craziness in our schedule. And I mean, just having a toddler and finances and health and all of these things, for me, if I didn't have that focus that I was building, I would have felt like I was drowning and falling apart and just like, what in the world is happening? But it just kind of served as an anchor for me to have something to hold on to when things got hard, because I could always come back to it and say, okay, Lord, what are you building in this moment? Like, how am I being built? How can I even build my relationships? How can I build my business? How can I build this podcast or my community and things like that? It just gave me something to hold on to when in my own vision, like my own perspective, I would not have been able to see that. And so I love this whole word for the year thing, because it just gives you not only an anchor, but something to kind of, it's like a lens to look through the year and look at your circumstances through. And I really love that. And so if you're that person, maybe take the time to either pray or just choose a word. Like if you're somebody who's like, you know what, this next year for me is going to be about health, and that's going to be my word. I have a friend who, when she sets goals for the new year, what she'll do is spirit, soul, and body goals, and keep it very simple. But in each of those areas, what's one way you want to grow? So like in your spirit, how do you want to grow? Is it reading your Bible every single day, or doing the Bible in a year, or incorporating more worship, like turning on worship music in your home first thing in the morning, or something in that sense, like even being in community, starting a small group, something like that, a way that you want to grow spiritually. And then soul, which is your mind and your will and emotions. Something for that for me has been reading more. Like I set reading goals for myself because I want to be growing my mind. I want to be growing my perspective and my understanding of things. And I just really love learning. And so that's been one way for me that I grow my soul. For you, it could be something similar. It could be a gratitude list. It could be going to counseling, even like working through some of those thoughts and feelings that you have, whatever that looks like. So there's tons of options for that. And then body goals as well. It could be learning to nourish your body better. It could be moving your body for 30 minutes a day, a couple times a week, or it could be, I don't know, practicing yoga, getting better sleep, like anything like that. And I just love that because I think it simplifies the process. So those are some things that I kind of look at when I'm thinking through my intentions for the next year. And then when it comes to writing my letter, what I'll do is just take note of the things that happened in this year that affirmed my word for the year. And then also just some insights that I now have about what has happened this year. It's like, okay, I know this now. Or looking back, I can see growth in this area, or something that I'm so grateful for this year is this, or some of my favorite memories from this year, or are this XYZ. And for me, that's just fun, a fun way to kind of document it as well, because now I have all of these letters. Look at all these letters. Oh my gosh, I've got like a whole handful here. All of these letters from years and years of just reflecting and remembering. And so it's so fun to be able to go and look back and see my growth from year to year, and even how my words for the year have built on themselves. Like a couple years ago, my word really set me up for the next year and the next year and so on. And so I just love this tradition. And then I'll just set my hopes and dreams for the year. And it's been things like, oh, I hope this year I really start my podcast, or I hope this year our marriage is better than ever, or I hope this year we're able to grow our family, or whatever it may be. Just like have fun with it. And you can write things like, oh, by this time next year, I hope that I have traveled to 5 new states, or gone to a different country, or tried this hobby, or started this project. It's so fun. And so I just really like this tradition because I'm the kind of person who just loves having things to look forward to. And I love gifts and I love getting letters. And so it's kind of something that I do for myself to tick those boxes. And it's just been really sweet. So I hope that you will try this tradition. It's been really fun for me through the years. And like I said, it's been really cool just to have these memories to look back on, and then maybe even share with my kids someday. Christopher started doing this with me when we started dating. And so it can even be a family tradition, like do it with your significant other. And then I just write a note on the front that says, open this date. Open on December 31st, whatever year. And then when it comes to that day, I make my time. I either go to a coffee shop, like Christopher and I in the past, we've gone to a coffee shop to read our letters and discuss them and then write the next ones for the following year. And I just love it. It's so fun. So definitely give it a try. If you do, you'll have to tag me so that I can see. And then this time next year, I cannot wait to see how much we've grown. I really think 2023 is going to be an amazing year. I have so many fun ideas for bywords and I can't wait to share them with you. And I'm just looking forward to all that God is going to do. I actually need to go and write my letter. So I'm going to do that. And I will talk to you soon. Happy New Year, friend. I will see you in 2023. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune into another episode of the Byword Show. I love having you here and I'm so thankful for your support. Don't forget to share a screenshot of this episode to let me know you were here. I can't wait to talk again soon, but in the meantime, be sure to come hang out with me on Instagram and remember, I am cheering you on.